I started working on this issue 19 years ago. And for 19 years, I have got every morning, without one exception, I have said a prayer to God to put me in a position where I could end the chronic disease epidemic.
All right, guys, so Make America Healthy Again is real, and it is officially underway as today Donald Trump made a major announcement on RFK Jr. and his position in the presidential cabinet. And needless to say, both the left and the establishment GOP are mutually opposed to this. They're uniting and joining forces to say that RFK is so bad. And that should tell you a lot that you need to know about the current state of our politics, right? The fact that those two are joining forces to be mad and oppose the American people, their health, their well-being. We'll tell you about it in today's video. So folks, please do us a big favor. If you enjoy the content, make sure you are subscribed, okay? We're trying to hit 400,000 subs by Donald Trump's inauguration, and it's the best way to ensure we can keep bringing you these videos totally free. All you got to do, hit that red button down below. It is appreciated in advance. And with that said, here is the announcement from @RealDonaldTrump. So I am thrilled to announce RFK Jr. as the U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services. So that is right. There was speculation for a long time maybe RFK would be getting some type of advisory role, or he would be like a health czar or something, but this is big. They want to put him now directly in the presidential cabinet. So that's noteworthy. Think of that what you will. He'll have direct power here in this situation. So for too long, Americans have been crushed by the industrial food complex and drug companies who have engaged in deception, misinformation, and disinformation when it comes to public health. The safety and health of all Americans is the most important role of any administration, and HHS will play a big role in helping ensure that everybody will be protected from harmful chemicals, pollutants, pesticides, pharmaceutical products, and food additives that have contributed to the overwhelming health crisis in this country. Mr. Kennedy will restore these agencies to the traditions of gold standard scientific research, beacons of transparency, to end the chronic disease epidemic and to make America healthy again. So what is this right here? It is promises made, promises kept. RFK teamed up and endorsed Trump because he wanted to address this very issue, which is the chronic health problems in our country. And now it is happening. You love to see it, and you love to see the seething reactions to it, because apparently we can't all mutually agree on a bipartisan basis that like processed food is bad or something. I don't know, but it is what it is.
I started working on this issue 19 years ago. And for 19 years, I have got every morning, without one exception, I have said a prayer to God to put me in a position where I could end the chronic disease epidemic. And on August 23rd of this year, God sent me Donald J. Trump.
I really just found that whole situation to be so inspirational, because you have a man, RFK Jr., who obviously disagrees with Trump and conservatives on a lot of the political issues, but he decided to make a judgment call, right? He would put those differences aside and work with Trump, unite to save America's children and well-being. I mean, like that's as noble, honestly, I think, of a pursuit as it can get. So props to RFK Jr. I don't think he's someone who is getting enough credit for aiding in Donald Trump's victory when we have those post conversations, because you saw when he dropped out, right, where his supporters broke, and you know the effect that that had in the election. But on top of that, I really do think that the whole Make America Healthy Again message really resonated with a lot more people than we are realizing, especially parents out there and especially moms, right? You want to talk about why, for instance, in North Carolina, white women did not vote for Kamala in the margins that people were expecting. Well, hey, Maybe it's the fact that a lot of moms out there care about their children, and now suddenly you brought them something that was personal, they relate to, they totally agree with. I don't know, just saying, but love to see it, and looking very forward to RFK Jr. actually hopefully doing something about the chronic health issues in this country. Now, with that said, the reaction from the other side is basically expected. You have Harry Sisson, as a prime example, says, RFK Jr. being the HHS secretary is incredibly dangerous. This is bad for everyone, including Trump voters. They just don't know it yet. Yeah, because apparently it is bad to end chronic disease in this country. It is bad to ensure that the food we are eating is like actually food and not a bunch of lab-made chemicals. And that's what's so hysterical, honestly, about the entire argument against RFK that I always hear. He's a science denier. He's dangerous. He's anti-vax. It's like, okay, you can throw out the buzzwords, but notice how none of these people can ever actually make a rational scientific argument with the evidence as to why RFK is actually wrong about any of these issues. Like, what does he say specifically about any of these things that is unscientific? Can you provide the answer on that? Usually they can't. Actually, never they can't, because their entire argument boils down to processed food is completely healthy and safe and good for you and is definitely not causing obesity, cancer, and so many health problems in this country. Literally, no normal person really believes that. But when you say, trust the science, trust big pharma for so freaking long, then that is where it ends up, you know? Like, apparently their argument is that big pharma, the same exact entities that leftists about 5 seconds ago said was really bad and really corrupt, and they were right about, by the way, they've always been right about this. Yes, that's true. But suddenly now, big pharma is good. It is a good thing that processed food is everywhere in this country and it's basically unavoidable. It is a good thing that vaccine manufacturers are exempt from the same liability that other companies have to deal with. It's like, what is actually the argument? They have none. So they just run around calling you dangerous. You know, it's very typical. Honestly, reminds me a lot of the conversations around Donald Trump himself. You know, they have no real reasons. It's just, he's bad. He's bad. So I don't know, Harry. Look, we're going to make everyone's life better, whether you like it or not. Okay, we're gonna actually fix health in this country, save children, reduce the rates of obesity, of cancer, of chronic disease, and the liberals will oppose this. Because I don't know, you know, but that is what it is. Now, in other news, the big pharmaceutical stocks have plummeted among the announcement of RFK Jr. to HHS. And just look at these numbers. Look at all that red right now in pharmaceutical stocks. Look, I mean, are you really going to sit? Is that going to be your argument? These companies are good. They're definitely not corrupt. And their interest is definitely public health in selling all of these drugs at the exorbitant rates and, you know, monopolizing it with the patents that Bernie Sanders, until again 2 seconds ago, was saying was a really bad thing. You know, I don't understand. They have no argument. Now, of course, the one legitimate question around RFK Jr., and this is the only one I will accept, is can he really be confirmed by the Senate? Because obviously, as you can probably see, Democrats think that it is a good thing that chronic disease and children are sick and all that. But many establishment Republicans are also lobbied and paid for by Big Pharma. And according to Bill Kristol, who is a big-time neocon, one of the chief advocates of the Iraq war back in 2003, but he may have a point here, right? His prediction is that Mitch McConnell will lead the opposition, confirming RFK Jr., and the opposition will succeed. So this will be a legitimate concern. Donald Trump may have to resort to using a recess appointment or naming RFK to a non-Senate confirmed position, possibly. We'll have to see. But the good news is it seems like some of the neocons with Donald Trump's more controversial cabinet picks so far are beginning to somewhat fall in line. For instance, Lindsey Graham recently went out and said that he will not be opposing Trump's cabinet picks, which is kind of surprising, maybe kind of not according to him. But take a listen to what he had to say.
He won the election. He deserves a chance to pick his cabinet. I am predisposed to allow him to do that. I think Matt Gaetz is very bright. I think he's qualified. He'll have a hearing and he'll have some tough questions to answer. But to every Republican, please follow a process to give President Trump the ability to pick the people he thinks can do the job and give Matt a chance to prove himself.
And you have a history of that.
I do it
have
for
voted
everybody. I do it for everybody.
And
Yeah, so there you had Lindsey Graham going out and saying, look, just vote for the people he wants. You know, it's his cabinet. He won the election. We are his own party. There is no actual legitimate reason to be opposing his cabinet picks. Like, you did not decide this election, right? You're not the ones really in charge here. Just let him have the people he wants. I think it's a legitimate argument, by the way. Okay. Frankly, there's a genuine debate over whether the Senate should even be confirming these people in the process. Like, part of me feels like if you won the election, you should be allowed to choose the staff you want for your own branch of government. You know, I don't know, just saying. But I think really the calculus that in the leverage we have here is that some of these neocons, I don't know if it's going to be enough of them, but many of them are recognizing, and we're talking here about the same people that voted for John Thune as the majority leader, that it is not politically expedient to publicly oppose Trump as a Republican, even if you disagree with him, right? It's just, you're going to get destroyed. Your legacy is going to be tarnished. You have seen what happens to the neoconservative Republicans in the past who have chosen to oppose Trump. And recently, Elon Musk made the announcement that he will be dedicating all of his resources to primarying any Republican in Congress that chooses to undermine or go against Trump's agenda. So yeah, you know, it's leverage. You could call it even a fear tactic. I don't really care. But the point is this. My message to our neocon senators and congressmen is this, okay? We disagree on everything. In an ideal world, you would not be sitting in that chamber right now. But mutually, why don't we both think smart here for each other, okay? You have very little politically to gain from going out against Trump. And, you know, on top of that, if Trump can't get his agenda done, the mandate that he was elected to deliver for the American people, do you think that's good for the party? I don't know if these people care about that, but do you think that's good even for your own re-election chances if the GOP grows unpopular because it can't get stuff done and there's too much division? Just go along with it. The way I see it, you have very other little choice politically, okay? So I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll have to find out not whether or not the Republican Party has suddenly purged itself of the neocons, because they obviously have not, but whether the neocons want to make the smart choice for themselves too, by the way, which is to just go along with Trump, allow him to appoint the people he wants, or do they want to sink themselves and the greater Republican Party outside of Trump by choosing to be entitled, selfish, narcissistic brats about this? On that front, we will have to find out. But with that said, guys, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Do you like RFK? Do you think he is actually going to get appointed here? We'll have to find out. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.